mute. Hi, folks. Thanks for joining us tonight. I see lots of people joining in the meeting here, which is fantastic. So we're just going to wait a couple of seconds here to let everyone get logged in and connected. People are still joining us, which is fantastic. My cat is meowing in the background for his dinner. I don't know if anyone can hear that. All right, I think we can get started. So hi again, my name is Sandy Cardoza, and I am the Associate Director of Parent and Family Relations here at Johnson & Wales. Great to have everyone with us tonight. We've been doing these types of family panels, if you will, via Zoom for quite a while now, well, at least a year since we all went virtual. But I'm thinking tonight's audience might actually have some folks who haven't been with us for too many of these in the past. So if you are new to one of our family panels, welcome. We're very happy to have you. This is definitely a targeted conversation tonight. The topic is the grad walk that's planning. So we know we have a lot of families of graduating students. Just real quickly before I introduce our guest or let her say hello to you herself, what we are going to do is look for any questions you have through the Q&A feature. So if you're not familiar with Zoom so much, if you take your mouse and kind of hover over the bottom of your Zoom screen, you'll see the Q&A there, and that's where you can type in your questions for us. If you are one of, there are about a half dozen or so people did submit questions to us in advance via email, we have those. So we will definitely address those. I'll run through those names super quick. Laura, Lynn, Tiffany, Janine, Rebecca, Elizabeth, and Kat, we've got your questions. Quick shout out to our colleague Daryl, who helps out behind the scenes with these. He is helping. You may see some things come up in the chat. Daryl will be sharing websites, email addresses, things like that. That would be helpful. And I think there's one family from his hometown he was mentioning, Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. So yeah, Daryl is super helpful. All right, with that, I am going to ask our special guest to say hello, tell you a little bit about herself and what she does here at the university, and then we will get right into your questions because I know you have a lot of questions for us tonight. So here's Kathy.
Hi, folks. Happy St. Patrick's Day for those that are celebrating. I'm Kathy Kavanaugh. I am the Director of Special Events here at the university. We do a lot of different things, but one of the major events we do is commencement. And I think I've been doing it, I think I'm on either through 15, 16, something like that. So with COVID and the pandemic, we're trying to do the best we can to give your student an experience to celebrate all their achievements in their 4 years here at the university. So if we want to, we can just get right into your questions, and hopefully I can help answer some of them, and some of them I may not have the answer yet just due to the pandemic and how things change like day by day. So let's see what we can do to help you out.
And we're definitely going to share information as we know it as of today, correct, Kathy? And like you said, we know things could change. So.
Yep, the governor has a big press conference tomorrow here in Rhode Island at 1 o'clock, and I hear to the grapevine that there's going to be some changes. So things could change tomorrow. So you know, we may be doing things different as of tomorrow, but I can't guarantee anything.
Okay. So I think what might be helpful, Kathy, to start off with is if you could explain to our audience what exactly they should expect. What is a grad walk compared to a full-blown graduation ceremony?
Sure. So it's just that, a grad walk. We're going to allow the graduates to walk across a stage that will be decorated like a regular stage. There are no speeches. There is no dignitaries. So what they will do is they will hand their name card to somebody that will read their name as they cross the stage. We will have professional photographers there. They will be allowed to take their mask off on the stage to have their picture taken. And their two guests will be able to use their cell phone to either videotape it or to take a picture. It has to be 15 feet away. That's the way the specs are right now, and they will be able to take a picture. And then it's basically out you go. I mean, we have to get people in and out very quickly. Can't be in the building more than 15 minutes. So by the time we get you checked in and by the time you walk across the stage and exit the building, it will be about 15 minutes.
Okay, and once families and students have gone through the actual walk portion, gotten the photo, gotten their diploma cover, they are welcome to stay on campus a bit, right? They can be
Absolutely.
outside.
Yeah, we have the Willie the Wildcat statue outside the Wildcat Center. You can go down by the water in the practice facility and get a picture down by the water. Go downtown into Gaby Commons, get some nice pictures. We have some banners that will be hung around. You can go into a faculty. We are going to have the academic buildings open. So if the student wants to show parents where they had class, or maybe a professor may be around, everybody's welcome to do that.
Okay, and the main reason for this is because of crowd sizes, correct?
Yeah, so the state of Rhode Island, based on the square footage, only allows so many people in a building. And while we have a student plus two, right, two guests, plus faculty or any administration, all the staff, the photography company, security, it all adds up. So we only can have so many in the building at one time.
Okay. All right, so hopefully that little bit of information is helpful to everyone who's with us tonight. So let's start getting into some of these questions. Denise is asking about the test requirement 72 hours prior, and I know that came up in some of our email questions as well. Lynn touched on that. Tiffany did also. So can you talk a little bit about the test requirement, and also, you know, Denise is asking specifically, if you've been vaccinated, will that be accepted in place of having to present test results?
So as of today, which is March 17th, the state of Rhode Island does not recognize being vaccinated in lieu of a negative test. We are actively pursuing to get that changed, so that if you are vaccinated, you do not have to show a negative test. You can just show that you've been vaccinated. But as of today, so today's being the 17th, Rhode Island does not recognize that. So with that being said, I'll talk about the negative test. State of Rhode Island requires to attend an event a negative COVID test. So it depends on when your child or graduate is walking across the stage. So if they're walking on the 7th, which would be the Friday, if you could just show us a negative test that was 2 days prior, so you may have to take it 5 days prior, depending on where you live, so you can get the results. So you may have to take it on Monday, you get the results on Wednesday, you travel to Rhode Island, and then you show it to us on Friday. That is acceptable. Some people that are flying in, they are doing rapid tests at the airport. So some people can do that. So you can just fly in, go downstairs when you get your luggage, they do a rapid test. You can wait the 15 minutes and then you will get it right then and there. So it depends on where you're coming from, how easily it is for you to get a test. But at least if it's dated 2 days before or 2 days or closer, that's all we're asking for, and that's what the state requires.
Okay, thank you for that. So I think that covers some of the questions that were sent in to us. Lynn, you had asked about the potential, or you talked about potential cost, the timing and whatnot. I think, like Kathy said, maybe if you're not able to get it at home, you might be able to do it in Rhode Island when you get here. Tiffany, same thing. No, your test does not have to be taken in Rhode Island, but that could be an option for some people, perhaps. And somebody else said something about testing here. Oh, Rebecca, you asked about the vaccine overriding the test requirement. And as Kathy said, as of right now, that is not the case. We'll certainly keep you posted if that changes.
Sure.
How about, Kathy, if you could also talk about the 2 guest issue
Yes,
or topic, because Laura asked a question about that, and I know I've seen that on our social media also.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's really important. So my son's a senior at St. Michael's in Burlington, Vermont, and he's graduating this year. And he's getting a virtual ceremony, so I don't even get to go. It was really, really important to me and the team that I work with that we could at least have some guests there. These students have worked so hard. They've been through so much this past year. We want someone there to cheer them on. So based on the formula of how many square foot there are, how many people will be in the building, we could invite 2. Will we be able to add one more person? I can't answer that now because I don't know what's going to happen towards the end of April. It's still March. We still have about 6 weeks out. Things could change. So maybe we could add one more person. But based on all the formulas that we did, 2 people were the guests. And then, I just want to go back to the testing. Daryl, maybe you could put up the site, the COVID testing sites, the website in Rhode Island on the chat, and then people could see, because there are a lot of places that do rapid tests, not even just the airport, they do it downtown. There's a couple places, New England Tech does it, there's a drive-through rapid test. So I know there's some other places in Rhode Island that do a rapid test, so with that. So the 2 guests, Sandy, yeah, I'll get back to that. That's what the formula does right now. And until Rhode Island lacks some of these regulations that they have on us, that's all we're doing. We know Brown, URI, New England Tech, I'm sorry, not New England Tech, RISD are not allowing any guests. We really thought it was important to have guests. So we did the grad walk.
Okay. So in the case of a parent who may be a single parent and a child or 2 children at home that they can't leave at home, are there any accommodations, any exceptions being made, or is it
one thing we have suggested? So if my roommate is graduating and not bringing anybody, when we send out, so at the end of this month, we will send out an email to all graduates where they will reserve a time. So let's just say I'm on Friday morning and I pick 10 o'clock. Have the roommate pick 10 o'clock at the same time. And then if they don't have any guests, they can have 2 guests. So maybe now you can bring 4. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We do that with our tickets when we typically do our graduation at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. If a student has 8 people and they only get 6 tickets, they can ask a friend. So that's another way to kind of manipulate but I can't predict right now how many students will bring guests and how many will not. So we had to go with, what we know.
Okay. Well, hopefully the family in particular that asked about that will be able to work things out so that they can participate. So in the Q&A, thank you, Lori, for putting a question here. You're asking about the graduates being tested. Or is there a plan to test the actual graduates?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the week prior will be the last centennial testing that we do on campus. We're going to try to get all of our graduates through that time. We're working with health services right now and may open up one more on the Tuesday. So it would actually be the 4th. And the company that we do use, Dominion, is pretty good about getting test results back in 24 hours. So actually, I was at COVID testing today, and we're trying to work that out so we can get the graduates through.
Great.
And most of them have already been tested with a negative test, so we already know that they're negative.
Perfect. And all the folks with us tonight, if you could certainly help us out and impress upon your students how important it is to pay attention to any emails, and if they're asked to report to testing, that they actually do that, make sure they get it done for us, especially as we get closer to the grad walk. So Stacy's asking, you mentioned the rapid tests at the airport. I don't know if you know the answer to this, Kathy, but can folks go and get a test there even if they didn't fly into Rhode Island?
I think so, and I think because it's done by the National Guard, so it's not like it's a testing site basically. Okay.
And there may be other options too, like you said,
Right.
maybe that are even more convenient than going to the airport. Although TF Green's pretty convenient. All right, so let's see, Robin, are you emailing students who graduated in December as well as those that will be graduating in May?
Yeah, they've already been emailed, A, to get their cap and gown, and B, they were on the list that we sent out for when the president put her letter out. So Marie Bernardo Sousa, our president, had put out a letter about what we're doing, and then they will also be on the list to make the reservation for a time to walk across the stage.
Okay. So Robin, hopefully that answers your question there. Your student should have gotten an email, so check with your student to confirm that. Paula is saying, my son graduating with a bachelor's degree in business. Is there a date and time span? And I know we've had a number of questions, even a couple of the email questions were about that, like exactly which day and what time for certain majors. And maybe you can explain how the student is going to select their actual time.
Sure. So on the website, it is listed. So on May 5th, we're doing all the class of 2020. On May 6th, it would be graduate school, a class of 2020 and class of 2021. On May 7th in the morning will be undergraduate. So it's CFIT, which is our culinary program, and health and wellness. So they have Friday morning. Friday afternoon will be the College of Engineering and Design, hospitality management. And then on Saturday, we'll do the College of Arts and Sciences in business. So we will send out an email and it will be a reservation system. And we'll start probably between the hours of, we're gonna probably go like, it's kind of like signing up for a vaccine, right? We hopefully there's a spot available. So we'll start like 10 to 4 or 10 to 3. And if those fill up, we'll add more spots. So we'll go 9 to 4, etc. So everybody will get a slot. Don't think, you may not just get 10, you might get 10:30 or you might get 10:45. They just have to put their name in there and that'll be the time that they arrive.
Okay. So if you didn't write down everything Kathy was saying there, if you go to the website, which I see Daryl has put it in the chat, you can find information there about the times broken down by colleges and years. So a couple of people, and I see Elizabeth is asking if it's going to be available to be viewed virtually.
Absolutely.
Is
So a
it
couple things.
live stream?
It's live. Yep, we'll live stream it. We'll have those links available. We'll have those on the website, so you can just click on it. We'll email those out as well. And we also are going to videotape it. So then we'll put it up on our YouTube channel, and then you'll be able to watch it, and then you can, share it with whoever you'd like to.
Perfect. Janine had an interesting request, and I love music myself. She asked if Pomp and Circumstance is going to be played. That was one of our email.
Good question. That's not, so Pomp and Circumstance is not our tradition. The music that our students walk into and is our tradition is called the Olympic Spirit. And we will be playing that because that is our tradition. Traditionally, our platform party walks into Pomp and Circumstance, and the one year that we changed it, the students went wild and they wanted their music back. So we will continue our tradition with the Olympic Spirit, and that will be in the background.
And I can tell you all, it is wonderful. It brings me to tears just hearing that music to start playing every time. So, but it is going to be we're going to do our best to make it a festive, special occasion, correct?
We may have a few surprises. We're still working on some things. This is all new to us as well.
Yeah.
So we're working with some technology things that we might do some fun things for the students. So we're really, really trying to make it festive. And, we'll see.
Yeah, your team always does an amazing job. So and this is meaning as much to all of us, I think, as staff and faculty as it is to our students and families too. So.
You got it. Yeah.
Let's see, another question. Rob is asking, I don't know the answer to this. I'm not sure if they would have to reach out to health services, but a student who graduated this past December, could they get the JU sponsored COVID test?
They cannot. They are not enrolled as of right now. I'm going to say probably not.
Okay. Stephanie is asking about hotels. Do you know the status? Are they open in the Providence area?
So we just, if you go on our main website, so the university website, there is a link to all of the hotels in downtown Providence and in the area that we have agreements with. So you can look for those on there to be open. And a lot of the other colleges will be having commencement ceremonies, so they are reopening, I think, a lot of them as of April.
Oh, good. And we always advise people too you don't necessarily have to look right in Providence, right? You can look in Warwick, Seekonk, Massachusetts. There's other areas nearby where people can get hotels.
Yeah, it's so convenient. They're 10 minutes away.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's see. Off-campus students included in campus testing, they are.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. We're not testing 100% of our population every week, but they certainly are included in the potential pool. So off-campus students have and have been being tested, and they could continue to be down the road. So will the buses, Sally's asking, will buses be running between Down City and Harborside?
They sure will.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah, because, and that was something Kat had asked about parking.
Plenty of.
And I think she was thinking more, a full grad ceremony, but still, they're going to want to be able to park. So we're probably going to have plenty of parking down at Harborside over in that F lot or the E lot, something like that.
Yeah, so we're asking everyone to park in the E lot. That is right behind the Wildcat Center, because the entrance will be in through our Delaney gym, which is our smaller practice gym. F lot is across the street, and it's just a further walk.
Okay. And I'm sure you're gonna have signage and all kinds of people will be able to find that.
Yeah, it's on the website. If you look at what is a grad walk, it's listed right there. E-lot will also have security available to point everybody in the right direction.
Perfect. So Kat, I think I've covered everything you emailed us about. You asked about assigned seating. Obviously, there isn't any seating.
There is no. We will have, just so people know that we are handicap accessible. So if anybody has a wheelchair, there is a distance to walk. So if you feel like they're a grandparent or someone who's had medical issue, bring a wheelchair. You may have to stand for a few minutes or coming from the parking lot. And we will have a couple chairs in the gymnasium for those folks, but not for, just regular people that will come in through the grad walk.
Okay. Elizabeth, I think we've touched on your questions about the times, College of Business on May 8th, and I hear you talked about grabbing a ferry from Martha's Vineyard. So as soon as your student is able to register for a specific time slot, make sure they do that as soon as possible so you can hopefully book that ferry.
We're not going to turn you away if you're late. We get it. We'll fit you in. Please know that we're going to do everything we can to accommodate all the students.
Okay. So I think I've gone through all of my pre-questions, everything that was submitted by email. So if you sent us one and we haven't talked about it yet, just please put it in the Q&A, because that was all the notes that I had taken. Denise is asking, she's making a point here that her daughter is an essential worker, testing for COVID patients every day. And I guess she was told that vaccinated people could potentially test positive with a rapid test.
That's a possibility. We are hoping, if she's already vaccinated, we are really hoping that the state of Rhode Island will recognize the vaccine for one reason is that we also have our PA program, our physician's assistant program. And I had the director of this ask the exact same question. The CDC recommends and recognizes the vaccine. The state of Rhode Island, as of today, does not. We are really hoping in the next 6 weeks that will change. We will post it on the website, so please just keep an eye on the website for changes. We'll put it on a banner just saying, state of Rhode Island does recognize vaccine, so you will not have to produce a negative COVID test. So I'm with you on that. We're all pushing, and I know President Bernardo Sousa is also working on it as well with other college presidents. So please know that's a hot topic for us as well.
Great. And congrats to everyone who was able to get a vaccine by now. That's awesome. So there's a couple of questions, Kathy, about the signups for the students. Did you say they're going to get an email, and do you know about when that email is supposed to be going out?
Yeah, it's a whole new program. Yep, we're developing the program right now. We're testing it. It's going to be the last week of March. So I would say between March 29th and April 2nd. So that last weekend, we will get that out and we'll get that to you folks.
Okay. And I don't know if I saw this quickly in the chat earlier. I don't think it's in the Q&A right now, but someone I think had asked about programs. Are they going to be printed or just electronic?
Nope. So we're doing both this year. We'll have a printed program. The students will be able to pick that up as they walk in. And then we will also take that printed program and put it on the web. So it will be as a flip book, which is also something you can download and print as well. So, yep, we'll have it both ways this year.
So Lori's asking a question about the honors cords. She's saying that she read you pick those up at Harborside. Do they just go there to pick it up, or is there a process? And maybe related to that, you could just touch on caps and gowns in general.
Yeah, so two things. Caps and gowns are now being ordered online. So every student should have received an email saying, here's the website. They have until April 2nd to order so that they get shipped home or to ship to the address that they want to ship to by then. So if they haven't, you can always email us at events.jw.edu. So Honor Cords is that. It's a gold cord. We only do one. It's recognized for anybody whose fall GPA is a 3.4 or above. If you arrive a few extra minutes early prior to your time to walk, so I would say even 15 minutes prior, the bookstore is right there. The Harborside Bookstore is adjacent right to the Delaney Gym. Walk in, say your name, they'll hand you your cord, and you can just come on over around the other entrance and come on in for the grad walk.
Okay. And I'm sorry, Denise asked gold tassels as well. That's
We don't do gold tassels. We do a blue and white, which are the university colors. The year on our tassel is 2021, because technically how the university looks at it, we have 2 semesters and we only do 1 graduation. We do the date of the graduation. So 2021 will be the date on the tassel. If there's anybody who has students who have graduated in December and really want a 2020 tassel, we'll be happy to send them one. Just email us at events@jwu.edu and we will send it to them in the mail.
okay. And so if they're getting their caps and gowns ahead of time, I mean, they're still welcome to decorate the mortar boards and things like that if they choose to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, you know, if for some reason you left it at home and you forgot it, the bookstore will actually have some extra caps and gowns. So if the last minute, you thought you packed it and you didn't, we will have them at the bookstore. But we really would prefer you get them online and get them shipped home. And just one thing about the caps and gowns, if they're wrinkled, throw them in the dryer for just a couple minutes. Do not iron them. They are made out of plastic bottles that are recycled. So 20% of that is made from plastic bottles. And if you iron them at a high heat, they melt and you'll get that iron mark. So our recommendation is just put them in the dryer for just a couple minutes to get the wrinkles out.
Good advice. All right, Paula, there's still an open question here. Paula, I think we've talked about this, go on and sign up for your time for your walk. It's not open yet. Hopefully the end of this
we'll
month.
let you know last week. And we'll also make sure we put it on the website. It is now open. So please, go on and pick your time.
Sure. Now, in case we have anyone in the audience, Kathy, whose student is actually going to be completing their requirements next fall, do you want to talk about that they could actually delay their commencement until next May?
Correct. Because we only do 1 ceremony a year, the fall graduates are going to get emails this year to say they can walk now, or they can delay and walk in 2022. And as a mom, I would say wait, because next year we hope we're back to the celebratory real ceremony in 2022. And they will receive all the same emails for that commencement ceremony.
Okay, so that's good to know. All right, so I am not seeing any other questions in the Q&A at the moment. We definitely still have a number of people online with us. So if anything pops into your head and you want to ask, there's no silly question. Probably other folks have the same question you do. I think Kathy mentioned earlier, she has a son who's a college senior this year. I also have a son who's a college senior this year. My oldest is a JWU grad, and luckily for us, he was the class of 2019. So we got to experience the last real, full-blown commencement that we've had. But my younger one who's graduating this year, still waiting to hear from his school about what's happening too. So we can certainly relate with the concerns, or just it's hard. It's definitely hard, but I think knowing Kathy and her team as I do, that whatever we do, it will be special. And I mean, I know I saw somebody had put a thank you out there for doing something. We're trying, right? We're trying to do the best we can.
Yeah.
Oh, Denise, good question. Will the brochure say if they are cum laude or magna, etc.?
Yeah, so a couple of things when we do with the printed program, it will recognize as a symbol next to the student's name. and there is a key that'll tell them if it's the cum laude, magna cum laude, or summa cum laude. It will also have, if your student is doing an internship over the summer or has to take a couple classes online over the summer to complete the degree requirements, it will have an asterisk that will say they're a post-May grad. That's what that means. They may just have one more class to take, and most of the time it's an internship. So those are all in the printed program as well as the flip book. So it will denote that.
Great. Kathy, is there any type of video component or anything, you know, that's going to be shared either during the grad walk or after the grad walk, separate from the actual day of activities?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Sandy. So
Or is
yes,
that a
we are
surprise?
gonna, yeah, we're gonna do the traditional conferring of the degrees. So our chancellor, Mim Rooney, our provost, Kyle McGinnis, and our president, Marie Bernardo Sousa, will also be speaking. We are recording those ahead of time and we'll put those up virtually. And that's so that every graduate, even though if they're coming or not coming to the grad walk, they will be able to get the, you know, they can play that. They can play it at a party or they can play for their family and know that the degree has been conferred and that they are a graduate.
Excellent. Stephanie, thank you for asking the question that you are here. So Stephanie's asking, is it recommended to give a senior gift back to the school? I don't believe we've ever, maybe Lori Zabata from Alumni Relations would have something to say about that. Do you want to add anything, Kathy?
Typically, universities will have, you know, a senior, like they'll donate money back and then they buy a bench. So it's from the class of so-and-so and, you know, whatever. We typically don't do that, but you can recognize a student's name by giving a gift. So if you want to give a gift back, you can do it in the name of your student and they'll be recognized.
And yesterday was actually our 1JU 24 hours of giving, which I think that those links are still live. If anybody wanted to do something like that now, but that's thoughtful. Thank you for asking that, Stephanie. So Robin's asking again about that magna and summa cum laude. Do they get different cords?
We do one color cord, and well, we shouldn't say that. We do, for academics, we do one color cord, and that is a gold cord. So anybody with a 3.4 or above gets the gold cord, and then in the program is where we denote what level they're at. So we don't do it by a cord.
Okay. And and I apologize if you already said this, but do we recognize in the program if a student is graduating through the honors program?
So honors is through the Wendy Wagner program that's done the dissertation at a bachelor's degree level. They get actually a stole. So if your child is in that honors program that has done a dissertation for a bachelor's, they will get a stole from Wendy.
Okay.
It's a very elite group. There's about 25, I think, or maybe there's 28 in that group right now. But that's the honors program.
Okay. All right. And the SHARP, I don't believe we recognize.
We do not recognize the SHARP program. No.
All right. So again, I think that's all our questions. Did you have something, Kath?
Yeah, so I just want people, there is another cord, it's called the co-curricular cord, and that's a leadership position. And that is submitted by the club. It's not a club cord, it's submitted by the area director, and that comes to me, and there'll be, so like a 4-year, so for example, if you're a 4-year athlete with a 3.0 or above, that's a co-curricular cord. So that they have been an athlete for 4 years, maintained a 3.0 GPA, that's a co-curricular. So you'll see some of those.
Great. All right. Well, Lori's asking about RAs. Does Res Life recognize them with a cord?
RAs are recognized as a co-curricular cord. I don't have the criteria in front of me, but their names have been submitted. And if they haven't gotten their cord, if they're not on campus at this time, they can also get that cord at the bookstore. I will be sending out an email personally. I just finalized that today. So we'll be getting those out. Hopefully the emails to the students where they can get their co-curricular cords.
Okay. Yeah, and I think if any students are wondering if they qualify for one of those, they should reach out to either their supervisor or their club advisor, that type of thing. Is that your recommendation also?
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right, I'm sure Daryl has put your events office email in the chat at some point. Daryl, maybe you could throw that in there again if you don't mind. And it's probably anyone on your team, right, Kathy, can help folks
Yeah,
answer
yeah,
questions.
there's a lot of us that are answering the questions. One thing that's really helpful is if you can put your child's J number, or the student's J number, when you email us. There are students that have the same name. So then we answer the question and it's not the person that we're talking about. So really be helpful. Just give us the J number. It's easy for us to look it up. Just reminder that the student, if they have loans, we are asking that they do an exit interview or called an exit session. They'll be receiving those emails 30 days prior to the grad walk. So that's another thing that we're going to ask the students to do. And that comes from it helps us if they do it's basically to talk about their loans and what they have in loans. And it's a good way for the student to check to make sure that what we have on record is what they have on record. So we just want to do that.
Great. All right, well, it looks like that's about the end of our questions here. So please, folks, feel free to reach out to the special events office. You see the email address in there from Daryl in the chat. We recognize the folks who are saying thank you to us. We are glad to do this for you. I hope you have found it to be helpful. And we thank you for your understanding and your support and cheering on your students, and we will be right there with you. So,
and once again, please just keep an eye on the website. Like, it could change tomorrow. We're doing everything we can to keep you informed. It's coming from the state. So as soon as we hear, we'll let you know.
Is there any chance they'd say, go ahead and open up the dunk?
No, actually, absolutely no. The dunk is going to be turned. I just heard today they're bringing in 100 FEMA people and they're going to open up 40 more vaccination stations.
Oh, that's
So,
good.
that goes through July. So there's no way they can open the dunk.
Wishful thinking. That's important.
We kept, one reason some of this information is coming late is because we keep waiting to see if there's changes or things are going to happen. So just bear with us, please be patient.
All right, folks, well, have a great night. Happy St. Patty's Day, Kathy. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Sandy.
And we'll talk again soon.
All right, thanks, folks. Look forward to see you in May.
Thanks, Daryl.